We are playing a 3-5-2 today, okay? Biggest thing from that, we're gonna now slide out, pick their mark up, and if we've done this, it looks exactly as if we got a 4-back system being played.
Hands in, go, go, shoot, go, 3! 1, 2, 3, SuperClubs! Go, go, 1!
So good afternoon and welcome to Cefn Druids in Wales. So again, welcome to SuperClubs. I hope you've enjoyed your time with us. Obviously we've got the first game going on now with the under-12s. It seems competitive. I think all the players are enjoying it. The staff certainly are in terms of getting a buzz from it, and obviously the crowd as well are cheering everything, so we're chuffed to bits in that. In terms of our setup here at the club, we've moved to this ground about 8 years ago. We're currently playing on a 3G surface that we had put down 2 years ago. In terms of the surrounding area, we've got the rock face behind us, which is part of the World Heritage Site, which is 2 miles away down the road. So the rock and the stone that you see was used as a quarry many years ago to build that World Heritage Site, and from that now we've got obviously the lovely surrounding area. Part of the surrounding area as well on the rock face, you'll see that there's certain bits of graffiti and writing. Now a couple of years ago when we were here, we looked to have that removed, and it turns out that actually the writing and the graffiti that's on there is from many years ago when it was actually used as a scrapyard. So we had people contacting us saying, well actually my granddad worked here in the 60s and the 50s and the 70s and they did that graffiti. So you'll see Paul and Jamie, and we had the grandchildren and great grandchildren, then people coming to us and saying actually it's part of the history of the club. And as us being sort of the oldest football club in Wales, we saw it important to sort of keep that message of the history, because we have strength, passion and history as our sort of club motto, which we look forward to sort of promoting as much as possible.
Every day on a SuperClubs tour is special. However, the day at Cefn Druids was extra special. All of the boys teams and the girls teams really blossomed playing in a first team stadium with the rock face next to them and a really engaged and enthusiastic crowd. Watching the games previous, and then going into the first team locker room and putting on your kit and chatting through the team specific tactics that we plan to employ that game was something that the kids really grasped to, held on to, and became really positive for them. A great experience, no doubt. For me as a SuperClubs coach, I'll always look back really fondly at the Cefn Druids and feel so lucky to have been able to coach and watch the kids play at this awesome venue.
From that this season we qualified for the playoffs for the Europa League, and we won the playoffs beating Cardiff Met here in a 1-0 win. So we then got drawn against a team called FK Trakai of Lithuania. So for ourselves it's been a manic summer in terms of, from the family, we were hoping to sort of have a few weeks off for the summer. Obviously the children and the wives and the girlfriends were a little bit, no, the players got 10 days off. The management ourselves, we literally had 24 hours off. We were back in then prepping for Europe. Fantastic sort of experience for myself and for the whole players really, because as a semi-professional football team we're going over to a full-time team in Lithuania, where players have sort of, some of their players are Lithuanian internationals and had played against Poland in a warm-up game for the World Cup, and so part of our sort of analysis was we were watching them playing for their country before they played little old Cefn Druids, as it was sometimes known as. So it was great for us in terms of that. There was even sort of a couple of players that played in the English Premier League system with Everton. So again, for our players to sort of, we have scaffolders, we have plumbers, electricians, a number of sort of careers for them lads to sort of go and test themselves against Europe's best in terms of what they are was a great achievement and a great experience. The home leg we drew 1-1, so we went over to Lithuania knowing that sort of we needed to get that away goal, otherwise we would be looking to go out, and unfortunately we lost the game 1-0 on the night to a penalty, which we have different opinions on if it was a penalty or not, but we would say that, of course. But overall, the experience was fantastic, and since then they went and beat the next round, and they've actually just last week lost 1-0 to a team called Partizan Belgrade, who are well known in terms of Europe. So in terms of the achievement from ourselves, we take huge pleasure in terms of how we did and sort of raising the profile of the club, more importantly. So again, I'd just like to welcome SuperClubs. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope we see you again.